Yes, we're back. Roshfooco watches and things. And we're having a celebration. We're having an isolation celebration. It's the 1 year anniversary. Roshfooco's been up on YouTube for a year. 20th of April 2019, or actually the 19th of April. That was part of my Jargon Buster range, which is I'm not focused on, but I'm going to, because there's still a place for that. The watch world has this really exclusive lexicon, which I think needs breaking down to help people kind of get into it and understand what they're getting into. So anyway, it is 1 year to the day since my first watch review, in inverted commas. Before we go into it, we're going to look at this one here, which was indeed my first ever watch review. We're going to go back and have a look at it again. Special thanks to my 164 subscribers, which is amazing that anybody bothers to subscribe. 52,000 views there or thereabouts over the course of a year, and over 2,000 hours of viewing Roshfooco content, which is just over 83 days, which is just mind-blowing. Thank you very much if you've ever taken 10 seconds, a minute, 10 minutes to watch a video or to subscribe. You know, I'm just a man with too many watches who's trying to justify them by putting them on YouTube, really. This isn't a business, it's obviously not commercial. Obviously I don't make any money from YouTube, this is just me fucking around. But for the first time ever, the first and only time, just as a little ego boost in these dark times, it'd be quite nice to get a few more subscribers. So if you would, hit subscribe or hit like on this video, much appreciated. Help a man in isolation who's got nobody about him but sand and camels. So like I mentioned, we're going to go back over my first ever watch review, which is this beauty here, the Maen Hudson 38 in midnight blue. Actually done all right on my video, on my channel for views. It's got about 1.6 thousand views, 1,600 views, which is pretty good on my channel, you know. Anything over 100 or so is gives an old man a bit of a smile. So thanks again if you ever watched the original video as well. So where are we 1 year since first looking at this? Well, I still think that it is an absolute stunner. Just a beautiful little thing from the micro brand Maen, who seem to be going from strength to strength. It was an original Kickstarter project. I was backer number 844 back in the spring of 2018. At the time I paid 369 euros shipped. I think they had designs on charging quite a lot of money for this watch, but the new iterations are just under 400 euros. So yeah, I had a little bit of a saving, but you know, it's not really about that. So as mentioned, this is the Maen Hudson Midnight Blue, 38, 46, just under 13, about 12.7 to that delicious box dome sapphire, 20mm lug. It has become my daily work watch. You know, I mean, I'm not in a massively formal context when I go to work, but it is pretty formal clothing and accoutrement, and this one fits in, although it has obviously a diver's aesthetic. We can all tell that from the rotating bezel, the fairly chunky case shape. the fact that it's a smaller watch, it's a 38, means that it's got that kind of everyday wear capabilities. It's got that refined styling, which starts at the 38mm case, goes onto that thin aluminium bezel. Shout out to aluminium bezels. I know that ceramic is the kind of material of now. It gives you that kind of scratch resistant and luminous properties. I quite like the old-fashioned aluminium ones, and especially when they weather a bit, I think they look really cool. So it's got that thin bezel. We don't have any crown guards to deal with, so that kind of vintage style look to it. That aforementioned domed sapphire. Even the markers and the hands. Obviously the markers, the indexes are all applied. We've got some lovely facets going on there, so the hands catch the light. Very individual handset actually. The dial colour, yes, it's blue, but it's the finish. It's that kind of matte finish to the blue, which I think is splendid. Yes, yeah, I do like a sunburst. I've got some sunburst dials in my collection, which I really like. But sometimes, do you know what I mean? Sometimes it can look a little tacky. A sunburst dial can look a little cheap. So I appreciate the fact that this is just a matte, beautiful blue. And the way it works with the AR coating of the crystal just produces the most wonderful colour. I really like it. Inside is as you can see there, a Swiss-made ETA 2824-2 elaborate grade. I think in my original video I said that meant it had been, during the regulation process, it had been adjusted in 4 positions. No, only 3 positions, which should give an average daily allowance of plus or minus 7 seconds. This one runs towards the top end of that, about 6 or 7 seconds a day, but that's okay. The 2824 ETA is, I think the first ones came out in 1982, so it's well respected. It does the job. Lots of people can service it. Parts are abundant, and it's quite nice to have in a watch that is relatively affordable, you know. I think the new versions, actually, I think they're on a version 3 now. The new versions, they've ditched the ETA and I've got an STP 111, I believe. So, you know, I think there's swift movements as well. I've never handled one, so I'm not sure, but that's been a change between this original one and I think the version 3 now. So I remember in my original video, I had 4 issues with this watch. Do I still have issues with them? Let's look at it. The first one was the bezel, and that's me straining to do that. The bezel is, go on. The bezel sounds tinny. It's getting difficult to turn. I'm pretty sure that doesn't line up as well. So the bezel's still crap. The loom, yeah, I suppose the indexes and the loom pip on the second hand are okay, but look at those hands. Come on now, look at those hands, they're terrible. And there was some, I think Maen realised that the hands were terrible, and they tried to send out new hands to people, but then you had to pay lots of money for postage, and obviously who's going to fit the hands? That was a bit of a carry on, to be honest. And no loom pip on the bezel as well. So the loom's crap. The crown, I remember having beef with the crown as well. Do I still have beef with the crown? No, I don't. crown's no problem. It's probably because I've been wearing that fucking Hampton Kraken for the last month, where the crown is terrible. Oh, it's terrible. This one's like butter compared to it. So the crown's okay. I also remember having beef with a bracelet and the clasp as well. The bracelet's actually, that's a true 5-link bracelet. These are individual parts, these bits here. It is only push pins, but it's okay. I remember not liking the chinniness of that, but it does have a kind of milled out scissor, which is good. Yes, it's just a pressed metal clasp before micro adjusts, but come on camera, give me a bit of focus, it's my birthday after all. It's quite small and elegant, so yes, initially I was a bit pissed with the bracelet and the clasp, but on reflection, and again probably because I've been wearing that Hampton for the last month, I think the clasp's all right actually, and the bracelet's okay. Oh, goodness me, there's your birthday present for you. Yes, so all of these issues, I think on the second and third versions, which they have now, there has been an updated bezel with a different, I think it's a coin edge upgrade, so it makes it easier to grip. The loom has obviously been upgraded because people are up in arms about that. The crown I think is a more grippy crown now that they've got, and the clasp has been upgraded anyway. So all of those 4 things that I mentioned that were pretty crap, although on reflection, balanced against some other watches, actually okay. They've all been upgraded, and the Maen Hudson Mark III, €400. It's out and about now if you want to pick something up, which is incredibly beautiful, with some vintage diver aesthetic. You can wear it every day. I'll go for this one. It is the 1-year anniversary of the channel. It was my birthday card. There it is. From me to you in these weird old times. It's Roshfooco on the Isolation Special 1-year anniversary, and I'm out.